Welcome to video 11 of the lead guitar quick start series. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you some more shapes for your major pentatonic scale. This is important because it allows you to start expressing yourself in other areas on the fretboard. Knowing all of these scale shapes really frees you up to explore some more tonal options on the guitar and helps you conjure up some different sounds. Now, let me just say, it's more important for you to know maybe one or two of these major pentatonic scale shapes really well and know how to use them than it is to know all five of the ones that I'm going to teach you here but not really know how to use them that well. You can look at this lesson as kind of an extra credit lesson for the lead guitar quick start series. You can take one of these scales and work on them for a few months and then add another one. The idea is to just start getting familiar with them, pull up the major jam track, and use these scale shapes in your playing. So let's jump into these scale shapes. You already know this one. The next scale shape up for the major pentatonic scale, the lowest root note starts right here on the 5th fret of the D string. That's going to be kind of your anchor point or your reference point. So play that note. The other note on that string is going to be the 7th fret with your pinky. So, and remember there are only 2 notes per string in regular pentatonic scales, right? So those are the 2. Over to the next string, your first finger, 4th fret. 4th finger, 7th fret. Next string over, your index finger is going to grab the 5th fret. Pinky is going to grab the 8th fret. Next string over, 5th fret with your index finger. 7th fret with your 3rd finger. So far from that lowest root note. And you can add in the lower notes too. You can do 7, 5 with your pinky and 2nd finger on the A string. An exact same pattern for the low E string, 7, 5 with your pinky and middle finger there. So. But there's your root note right there for this scale shape. And your other root note is right here on the 8th fret of the B string. So total, this scale from the very lowest note all the way up to the highest note will sound like this. The next major pentatonic scale shape up, the next one, has its lowest root note right here on the 10th fret of the A string with your pinky. So let's go from there. You can play the notes below it too, but let's just start there and ascend through the scale. Next string over. You're going to play 7, 9 with your 1st and 3rd fingers. Same exact thing on the next string, 7 and 9 with your 1st and 3rd fingers. Next string over, 8 and 10 with your 2nd and 4th fingers. And the highest string, 7th fret with your 1st finger, 10th fret with your pinky. So if you start from that lowest root note right there with your pinky. And you can play the notes below it too, which are the 7th fret of that A string, and then the 10th and 7th fret of the low E string. So if you start from the lowest note, this entire shape, ended up on the root note right there, just kind of lock you into that sound of a G major pentatonic scale. Next shape up actually starts on that same root note on the 10th fret of the A string, that G note, but you're going to start with your middle finger there instead of your pinky. So that's the lowest root note. Play that note, then the 12th fret with your pinky. Move over to the next string. Play the 9th fret with your index finger and the 12th fret with your pinky. Next string over, exact same pattern as the previous string, so 9 and 12 with your 1st and 4th fingers. Next string over, middle finger is going to grab the 10th fret, fourth finger, 12th. So far we have. And the last string is the same pattern as the previous string, so 10 and 12 with your middle and pinky. So far that whole thing. And you can play the notes on the low E string too, 12 and 10 with your pinky and second finger. So you can throw those in there too. So you may be on overload right now. Just remember, this is kind of an extra credit thing. Learn these scale shapes when you can, take one at a time and get to know them really well and be able to use them with the jam tracks. The last major pentatonic scale shape, believe it or not, you already know the shape, but we're going to look at it in a little different way. So you should know this minor pentatonic scale shape if you started it right here on this E note right here. That is also a shape for a major pentatonic scale. All you have to do is change your root note, or the way you think about root notes. Instead of using this low E as a root note with your first finger, if you start here on this G note with your pinky, that's going to turn this minor pentatonic scale shape into a major pentatonic scale shape. So just play your regular minor pentatonic scale shape, but start here with your pinky on the root note for a G right here. I know this is a lot of information and it's kind of hard to digest all at once, but the things you want to focus on are just taking one scale shape at a time, realizing and memorizing where the root notes are, and being able to use it over a jam track. So pull up one of the major jam tracks I've given you and just experiment with these scale shapes as much as you can. If you have any questions about them, leave them in the comments below and I'll get back to you, or just email me, Nate@guitarsystem.com. See ya.